Hello, hello. Hola, amigas. Hola, welcome. Welcome to Retail Readiness Target's Retail Roadmap presented by We All Grow and Target Accelerators. My name is Vanessa Santos. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I'm the partner and co-CEO of this beautiful community, We All Grow. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the We All Grow community, I see so many friendly faces, but I also see a lot of new amigas. We ignite the voices and dreams of Latinas through the power of community rooted in friendships. Our mission is to illuminate the path of growth, cultivating a collective sense of belonging that supports Latinas to tap into their fullest potential with joy and well-being as our compass. Together, we create a paradigm shift where every Latina story is shared, acknowledged, and celebrated. We hope you join us so we can grow our collective power juntas, because this is where the magic happens. Just a few housekeeping notes before we begin today's conversation. So that we can get through the programming that we have for you today that the amazing Target team has put together, your mics will be disabled, but you can turn your cameras on. We love to see faces and allow the energy to carry the event forward. Our intent is to always create safe spaces for all. So please check out our community gathering principles, which are now being shared in the chat. Thank you, team. For those amigas who require ASL interpretation, you can enable closed captions by clicking on the CC button at the bottom of the screen. Today, we're going to learn about Target's commitment to supporting small business owners through access to a retail fundamentals curriculum and their comprehensive toolkit designed to support all of our amigas who are ready to take their business to the next level with Target. This conversation is being recorded and the replay will be made available, so please make sure to check your emails because that communication will be shared there. We will reserve time for Q&A at the end, so please make sure you type your questions in the chat box because our team will be monitoring and grabbing those for later today. And of course, we encourage you to share your favorite moments, takeaways, gems, moments of inspiration from the conversation, tagging We All Grow, Latina, and Target, and also use our hashtag Target Accelerators. By the way, everyone who is here today has been automatically entered into a giveaway for fun prizes from Target Accelerators. So keep your eye on your inbox over the next few days because we will be emailing you directly, letting you know that you have won one of the giveaways. Who is ready to accelerate their retail potential? I want to see yes, 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 me. We are ready because this magic that you're about to receive is going to be incredible. Yes, I love seeing the hands. So without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce to you our first speaker, a dear amiga, Nina Terrero Groth. I'm going to read her profile because she's such a badass that it deserves somebody to read it with love and compassion. A proud Latina of Puerto Rican and Dominican descent, Nina is the lead pipeline manager for Target Accelerators, Target's retail accelerator program. Nina leads all marketing and pipeline engagement strategies for the Target Accelerators brand. She is also the lead contact for all entrepreneurs interested in connecting with the Target Accelerators ecosystem and its resources. She's your girl. She's the go-to girl. She's a highly regarded marketing communications professional and former journalist whose extensive body of work has appeared in outlets including Entertainment Weekly and NBC News. Nina is a graduate of both Cornell and Columbia Universities because her brain is just brilliant. Nina, amiga, thank you for being here. The stage is yours.
Gracias, Vanessa. Thank you so much. Hola, amigas. Welcome, everyone. I am so thrilled to be here with my colleague, Tahaji Felder, and spend time with you today. Before we get started with the program, I honestly just need a moment to express my gratitude to each of you for showing up today. In doing so, you are helping to emphasize the importance of creating and protecting and valuing spaces like this one and supporting one another as we create and write our stories. Today, this very moment, actually, this is a pivotal step. It's a chapter in your bigger story and your legacy, and I am so proud of each of you in the virtual room today. I see you. Target Accelerators is also proud to support you. Whether you're starting to just sketch out your business plan or your first mass retail contract is within reach, we're so excited to give you the tools, the resources, and the information to help you, yes, amiga, you, scale for success. So with that in mind, I want you to take out your notebook and a pen, or maybe take out your phone. because I know Vanessa didn't tell you this, but there is an assignment for you today. Okay, just a little bit of trabajo. I want you to promise, not just me, but to yourself, that today you're going to take action against just one thing that you've learned today. I want you to make that promise, okay? Make that commitment to yourself and to your dreams to take action against something that you learned. So maybe you take that something and make it a topic of conversation with your mentor next week. Maybe you reach out to a prospective manufacturing partner or a branding expert. It might feel scary. It might even feel intimidating, but you know what? Take it from me. Just quiet those voices in your head because you deserve this space of professional development. We all do. As a Latina and as a woman, having those opportunities isn't something that I personally take for granted. And I know a lot of you feel the same way. No matter your background or your lived experience, there's something I think that really connects all of us when we think about what we have in common, which is reaching, working, and striving to make our dreams come true. Those are themes, I'm going to get emotional. Those are themes that really resonate deeply with me and that are absolutely core to who I am. I'm half Puerto Rican and half Dominican. My parents came to this country. My mom was looking to find a bigger part of the world, to see something different than all she knew growing up in her little town on La Isla. And my dad was that little boy who fled with his family under Trujillo for Washington Heights in New York City. They tried to make something out of themselves. My family imparted on me the importance of wrestling with the world, not just being in the world, but wrestling with it and being absolutely unafraid to be a revolutionary and finding spaces and places where I could achieve and make my own dreams come true. And it's kind of crazy. Like, as I think about it, one of my grandpas was a cab driver. The other owned a bodega. Neither of them went to college. They were both born on farms. And today, I'm with you in this virtual room, having earned 2 Ivy League degrees. I'm nearing the corner on nearly a decade at a top 40 company. And as the lead pipeline manager for Target Accelerators, I create the strategy that helps entrepreneurs like each of you feel valued and supported by Target. Working with each of you in this virtual space and beyond, you all are a really important part of my journey too, and how I think about my own purpose. And so with that, I just want to encourage you today to lean on your purpose for your life, your vision for the story that you are writing for yourself as you create a legacy and a life that is bigger than anything our ancestors might have dreamt of. Pa'lante, I am proud of you, girls. We are change makers. We are doing the darn thing. Let's get to work. And so with that, I'm excited to introduce you to my colleague, my Jamaican sister, Tahaji. Tahaji Felder is the Senior Program Manager for Target Forward Founders on the Target Accelerators team. Tahaji holds a master's degree in international business, and she actually began her career in finance, working for companies such as IATA and Swiss Re. Pursuing her love and passion for fashion, she transitioned her career and she became a social entrepreneur by launching her very own clothing brand, Goose and Gander, back in 2015. She then transitioned to mentoring and coaching early stage founders with the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship in 2018. This led to her current role on the Target Accelerators team, where she has helped hundreds of founders increase their mass retail knowledge and readiness. Tahaji has shared her journey to empower others through various features and outlets, including my personal favorite, her TED Talk, What Fog Can Teach Us. Her motto is, life is too short not to go the unpaved route. T, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can top Vanessa and Nina. I don't know if I can top that, but I'll do my best. Welcome, everyone. I won't even pretend I can speak Spanish. I won't even butcher the beautiful language. The most I can say is hola, amigas. So hola, amigas. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're calling in from. I am a South Florida girl. I saw someone, I think it was Isabella, put Florida. So I'm from Fort Lauderdale originally. I'm based in Minneapolis, where Target is headquartered with Nina too. It's getting warm here in Minnie, so I'm very happy about that. Nina mentioned this and Vanessa mentioned this as well. If you have any questions, we want this to be your opportunity to ask Nina and I all the things you want to find out about getting mass retail ready. So please feel free to drop all the questions in the chat. We want to leave time for some Q&A. Personally, that's my favorite part of this session, to be honest, because we want to make sure we're getting to all your great questions here at the end, and what you want to learn about becoming mass retail ready and more about Target. In addition, we love an interactive chat, y'all. So I know this is a virtual world. So again, please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat. I mentioned this just now, but I am just so honored to be here and to support communities like We All Grow and incredible founders like all of you. So my job today is just to help kind of demystify some of those things that you may have heard, or a lot of the information you may have heard about what it actually means to get mass retail ready, in particular, get ready for Target, and then just kind of what it takes to kind of get there. So that's what we're going to go over today. I'll share a high-level introduction of our team, Target Accelerators team. I work with some amazing folks, including Nina. I'm going to dive into the pathways to get to Target. And then, like I said, I'll open it up for Q&A here at the end. All right, so I have the esteemed honor of working with incredible folks like Nina, but also all of the amazing and supportive folks that you see here on the screen. We all support different facets of founders who are emerging founders like all of you, who are actually scaling and getting ready for Target. I'm going to go into that in a little bit, kind of those three levers of support, but we support anywhere from early stage brands all the way to emerging and diverse brands who are already on shelf. So I'll go into that, like I mentioned, in a little bit, what that kind of looks like. But Nina shared my bio, right? And I have had the incredible honor of leading 4 of 5 of our Target Forward Founders program. So I've led cohort 2, cohort 3, cohort 4, cohort 5. And out of the 120 plus founders that I've mentored to date, one of the questions that, like myself and our entire team, to be honest, gets asked a lot is, what is one thing that founders that actually get to Target have in common? If I had to pick one thing, no matter where the founders are from, their background, no matter where they're based in the country, no matter the category, food and bev, beauty, or essentials, the number one thing that every founder that gets to Target shelves has in common is intentional follow through. Now, I know all of you already have that because you showed up today for yourself for this session, but that's the number one thing they all have in common. Whatever they say they're going to do, they actually do it. And that's from their mission, their vision for their brand, right? Their stakeholders, their wholesale partners, their customers, most importantly, they follow through every single step of the way. So I am hoping, and Nina mentioned this too, I'm hoping that after today's session, you're able to take some immediate action on your brand, even if it's just one thing, take immediate action on next best steps for your brand. All right, y'all. So before I get into Target Accelerators, we have to get anchored in Target's purpose. Now, I don't know about y'all, but even though I work here, I'm probably in Target at least 3-4 times a week. I feel like I'm paying myself pretty much at this point. But between the 1,900 stores physical stores we have here in the country, and then online, Target's purpose is anchored in this North Star, what you see here on the screen, and that is to help all families discover the joy of everyday life. Now, every single word in this purpose, right, is important, but joy is in particular is highlighted in red, because to me and our team, that's probably one of the key, right, is helping all families discover that joy, the discovery, right, helping families make their lives easier with products that they need and bringing them to life. That is where emerging and amazing brands like all of you come into play. So before I even get into the content later, that is the number one thing that Target buyers are actually assessing when they meet incredible early stage founders like you. The number one thing they're thinking about is, will your products and your brand bring joy to the consumer or guest that walks into a Target store or actually goes to our website and shops? So before I get into what Target Accelerators is, if you may not have heard about it in more detail, I have to talk about who Target Accelerators is, because to be honest, Our programs would not be where they are without founders like you, without founders who have been through our programming, who have created and cultivated that incredible community like We All Grow. So here on the screen, I have two incredible founders who started an amazing brand, Luna Magic. After doing their research, Sheila and Mabel, who created this beauty brand, Luna Magic. And again, they're amazing founders. They've also been amazing speakers and mentors in both of our programs. They noticed a huge white space, as we call it, or a blank space in the beauty aisle in beauty category, where specifically around how to best complement diverse skin tones in a really elevated and curated way. We see Fenty now, but like Luna Magic was really onto something when they started their brand. So they did their market research, and then they saw that they can create this incredible brand. And now it is one of the most successful Hispanic brands today at Target and across thousands of other retail doors and other retailers. So one of the reasons, in addition to the Target purpose, that I want us to be anchored here, because I can share all the slides today, all the data points, and all the fancy retail words, right? But the reason why our team actually exists is for two reasons. So it's one, for founders like them who need that extra retail education, support, resources, access, mentorship, coaching, all the things. And again, cultivating that amazing community. And then number two, we do it for our target guests and consumers. So you're going to hear me say that a lot throughout. Our target guests, we call them guests that shop in our stores, and then new guests or consumers. So we do it for two reasons. Incredible founders like you all here in the community and the Luna Magic crew, and then also for our guests who want to discover new brands, who want, again, more ease and joy in their life with the products that we actually sell. All right, y'all. So the Target Accelerator's mission, we are in the business of democratizing access to retail because we want to create equitable access for you to Target's incredible network, education, and resources with, again, emerging brands like all of you. So I mentioned our three-ish programs, two programs, but really three levers of support. So I want to walk you all through what that kind of looks like. So first up, we have Forward Founders, and that is the program that I lead. I have that esteemed honor again. So in Forward Founders, we support diverse-owned and early-stage brands who are looking to understand the next steps towards mass retail readiness. So pretty much a lot of founders like you all. So in Forward Founders, most of the brands are maybe about 1 to 3 years from being mass retail ready. So mass retail meaning Target, Walmart, Sephora, Ulta Beauty, Publix. And then the goal is to increase their mass retail knowledge and access to retail resources. Envision brands like this one brand that we just had come through, actually getting on shelf next month, called GameFlow, and Lucia Diaz. This brand is like one of my favorite stationary Hispanic brands. Then we have Takeoff. So Takeoff supports early or more mature brands who are more retail ready and who are looking to take the next step right onto retail shelves. So envision brands who are about 6 months to a year, or if not now, ready for mass retail. So brands who have been through Takeoff, think of Aqua Bonita and then Luna Magic that I just shared. And then last but not least, our last lever of support is brand activation and growth. So they support brands who are already on shelf and who want to continue to scale and then grow on shelf. So two brands that have gone through that program are Hella Awkward and Back to the Roots, another great Hispanic brand that I also love. So again, our levers of support is we want to support, again, early stage brands and cultivate that access to retail education because we know how important it is for brands before they actually get to retail shelves. So a fun way of looking at this levels of support is saying like Forward Founders is like getting your bachelor's in mass retail education, Takeoff is like getting your master's, and then brand activation and growth is like getting your PhD, which I'm definitely not smart enough to do. One other incredible lever of support that we have that Nina actually does a phenomenal job of leading is our Accelerator Insider. So we actually offer an always-on support through our free monthly newsletter for founders just like you. So you can score free retail resources like tips and tools and tricks to help you scale and really just grow your retail education and business success. And then you can gain access to more opportunities to learn about from retail experts within Target and externally, and then help you become more retail ready. You'll also receive program alerts if you sign up for our newsletter. Nina, if you can please drop that link in the chat. I can't see the chat if it may be there already, but it's right on our Accelerator website. If you have not visited it, you can sign up there if you have not already, and then get, like I said, monthly insider information on how to scale your business. One quick thing I want to mention here, you may have noticed I did not mention anything about applications, application timing, or application time frames being open for forward founders or for takeoff. Applications for 2024 programming is not open right now, but once you sign up for the Target Accelerator newsletter, more info to come on all things programming. All right, so the most important part, now that we've talked about Target Accelerators, diving into the actual pathways to Target. There are a few pathways, and you may have heard about some of them across your networks and the whole retail ecosystem. So a couple of ways is through our programming, Target Accelerators, getting discovered at a trade show, maybe a buyer discovering you on your website or on social media, LinkedIn, maybe your marketing, or then maybe even an introduction from another retailer or maybe another founder that you may know. So I kind of want to walk us through these kind of 10 major milestones or steps that most brands go through to actually get into Target, or pathways to Target. All right, so we have step number 1. So that is filling out and completing the Target supplier intake form. If you haven't completed it yet, the QR code will be, I'll share that on the next screen to complete it. But the form is actually also available on our corporate website with some additional information. But with that form, once you complete that, you will then create a vendor profile where our team and the merchandising team receives it, and we will gain an idea of your entire brand and where your brand is. So we're looking, once you complete this form, it's 2 pages as well. So we're looking at things like your retail doors that you're in, your lifetime revenue, your supply chain capabilities. Do you have EDI or EFT? I will get into that in a second. So that's step number 1. And the most important step. So step number 2 is then you're assessed for retail readiness. So then our teams actually review your profile and assess if your brand is actually a fit to grow into retail based on the answers that you completed on the Target supplier intake form. One other thing too I want to mention here next is the review. You're then reviewed for assortment opportunity fit. One thing, some brands, especially early stage brands, get stuck here, get kind of stuck in this between 2 and 3, because even if your brand is a fit for Target today, or not a fit for Target today, you may actually be a fit in a few months from now, or even a year, or vice versa. One of the things here is that our target guests, as I mentioned, and our consumers, their needs are always changing. So your brand may not always be a fit, even if your vendor profile matches all of the other components to be retail ready. All right, next up we have step 4. You're then outreach from the supplier diversity team, or our team, and we'll verify your information on the form to make sure that it's correct. After that, if there is interest, your brand information, like I said, is verified, then you'll have line review prep. During this time, you'll either be meeting with some folks on our team or the vendor solutions team, and they'll help you prepare for your actual line review. And I'll go into what a line review actually is in a second if you are not familiar. Then you actually have your line review with a target buyer, and this is your opportunity to pitch your brand and to share your products with the target buyer to come into a Target store. From there, the buyers go behind the scene, and a business award decision is actually made and assessed. If it is a yes, then you'll be guided through an onboarding kind of pipelining, and then you work with our vendor solutions team. And again, they work with small and emerging brands to help you actually onboard to all of our Target systems. And then last but not least, you are launching into Target. Okay, All those steps I know sound super straightforward and easy, right? But it is never that easy, as we know. But that is why the target supplier intake form, step one that I mentioned, is the most important. This target supplier intake form is your best friend. Again, it's accessible on our Target corporate site, but please feel free, if you have not completed it and you're interested in a partnership with Target, scan this QR code. It will take you right to the form and again, create your vendor profile. One thing, I mentioned this a while ago, please note, again, it is 2 pages, so ensure you complete both pages so you actually have a complete profile. One other thing here as well, you can update the form as much as you want, but we more so recommend you can update it every 6 months. 6-month markers usually indicate that your brand has actually grown a little bit more from where it is today. So let's say you completed today and then you have gotten into more retail doors or supply chain capabilities have increased, right? You can fill it out again or again 6 months from now to show that your brand has grown. And again, our teams, the merchandising teams, we're looking at this daily. We are always looking for ways to find and explore new and fun and amazing, innovative brands like all of yours. All right, so I mentioned the part of assessing for mass retail readiness. So I want to walk you through kind of 6 key areas that our teams, buyers kind of look at when assessing for retail readiness. There are a few more, but these are just kind of 6 key high-level areas where we are assessing brands if you are ready to partner with Target. And to be honest, most other mass retailers look at these components as well, but these are 6 key tried and true for us here at Target. So first, we look at your annual revenue because we want to assess if your brand's actually in good financial standing and that you actually have enough cash flow to supply inventory for a chain like Target. Number 2, we actually look at your retail distribution. So we want to assess what other stores actually carry your products right now, other wholesalers aside from Amazon, or what other retailers are actually selling your products. I have to admit, to me, this is one of the most important, especially when you are an early stage brand, because to Target, retail distribution lets us know this is actually traction for your brand, right? There are folks looking and wanting your brand. So to Target, it says there's already a buzz behind the company and a need and a want for the product. Third, we look at insurance and certifications. To be honest, at this point, it's actually very minimum entry requirements because we want to make sure your products are actually safe for our guests to use. Then we look at EDI and EFT. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but EDI is electronic data interchange and EFT is electronic funds transfers, mouthful, but basically these are capabilities that connect communication between your inventory orders or inventory warehouse and also payments between them and Target or the mass retailer. Then we look at your supply chain capabilities. So where your products are made, how they're made, how they get to the warehouse, your minimum order quantities or MOQs, and then questions related to that. And then last but not least, your manufacturing capabilities, another very, very important component. But this, Target takes a lot of pride in supporting brands that have products that are made in safe environments, like I said, that are safe for our guests. And we want to make sure all your products are up to standard. All right, y'all. So I mentioned there are a few others, but these again are 6 key tried and true components that Target looks at when we're assessing brands for mass retail readiness. All right, so let's say you have all 6 keys in place, your brand is ready to go, you are rocking and rolling, and then you get your invitation from a Target buyer for a line review, which would be incredible. When it comes to line review prep, I actually want to walk you through the next few slides. Hopefully that could be helpful for you when preparing for a line review with a retailer like us at Target, or to be honest, any other mass retailer. You can even use what I'm going to share here as you have line reviews with more local brands or regional or local stores or more regional stores as well. So what is actually a line review? So line review, again, is your opportunity to pitch your brand for a retailer to actually buy your products. It highlights your brand products and how innovative they are to decision makers, AKA the actual buyer. So who is actually in a line review? So on the retailer side, or our side in this case, it's the merchandising team or the buying unit, business unit. So you're thinking the buyer or the senior buyer, the primary decision maker on if your product is going to come to store or not. Then you have the planner. So they manage all the finances of the assortment for the buyer. Then you have the associate buyer or junior buyer, possibly in the room. And then you also have the inventory analyst or the IA, and they are in charge of managing the inventory count of the assortment that the buyer is in charge of. They want to ensure that the inventory that you're bringing into the store, potentially, or stores, matches what the buyer's actual or business unit needs and is looking for. Then on your side, so we have the key decision makers, AKA you, or if you have a co-founder or co-CEO, if you're working with a rep group or a broker that helped broker that initial relationship, and then sometimes also the broker. We always coach our brands. If you are an early stage brand, we highly recommend that you are always in attendance for your line reviews, to not just rely on the rep group or the broker to be in the room speaking on your behalf. There's your opportunity to build that rapport and that relationship with the buyer. So you definitely want to be there and in the room. Then when do line reviews actually take place? So they usually happen obviously before the assortment transition, or basically when the buyer is going to make the decision to actually bring on new products into the store. Typically for big box retailers like a Target, Walmart, Publix, all the big box stores, they happen about one time a year, usually more often if they're smaller stores or more specialty stores. Sometimes they happen kind of off cadence or off brand at trade shows or seasonally, but again, usually they're one time a year. One key here too is that they vary based upon your category. So what that means is if you are a food category, even in spices, right? Let's say you're a spice brand, your line review may happen now in May, but if you are a pet company, they may have happened in January. If you are an essentials brand, they may have happened a different time of year. They vary based upon category. And a lot of emerging brands don't know is that the average line review is only 30 minutes. So you have 30 minutes to share products with the buyer, why your products deserve a chance to actually be in the store, and actually more like 15, because you want to ensure those 30 minutes are split between 15 minutes between you presenting and then 15 minutes for Q&A. It is really important for Q&A, the type of kind of listening, feedback, hearing what the buyer has to share, answer questions from the buyer, and then also brainstorm with the buyer. All right, so I have been talking a lot. So while I take a sip of water, I would love to hear from all of you. In the chat, I would love to hear from you. What do you think matters most to retail buyers? So put yourself in the buyer's shoes, right? Think if you're in a line review, you're meeting a new and emerging brand, target buyer. What do you think matters most to the buyer when they are assessing to bring a brand into the store? I see number of sales, okay. Connection to the product, profit, sustainability, okay. Clear, distinct vision, innovation, brand story, unique profitability, okay. Any other, scalability, yes, okay. All right, availability, okay. These are all, so brand connection to the community, uniqueness on shelf. These are all actually correct. All of the above, all of the above, all of the above. Our team's recommendation and my coaching to brands that have been through our programming is to what we always say, share what we call buyer empathy. So put yourself in the shoes of the buyer. Would you buy your product based on the line review that you're presenting, or try to see value in what you're adding to the buyer's assortment or the category? So buyer empathy, that is number one. So there are kind of three big things that target buyers actually look at. And these, again, are all pretty much universal. across major retailers. So all of the answers were right, and they all kind of encapsulate here what's here on the screen. But number one is guest relevance. That is number one, guest relevance and consumer relevance. Is this product something that the guest or consumer wants, needs? Will they buy it? Can they buy it with their limited discretionary income? Money is tight, y'all. We have to think about, will a guest or a consumer actually use a little money that they have and actually buy your product? Is something that's causing excitement for the guest or consumer? Will it make their lives easier? Or will Target want to be associated with this product in a good way? So number one is guest relevance. Number two is market competition. I think I saw that in the chat as well. And this is something that will make, Target competitive against other big box retailers. Will Target be the first to have access to your product, or exclusive partnership that can position Target in a positive way? So that's number two. And then number three, money. I saw that answer a lot in the chat. Profitability. We are a major retailer, and we are here, of course, to sell our products and make money. So will your products actually make the buyer in their category money and margin? Will it fly off the shelf? Will it sell? Will it drive revenue? Will it be competitive? So again, all your answers are correct, but these are the top three in addition to all of the others that you shared in the chat. So guest relevance, market competition, and will your products actually sell? So one thing I have to highlight here is, if there is nothing else you take away from what I'm sharing today, is that if you actually get a line review with a major retailer, including us here at Target, I want to remind you that you absolutely deserve to be there. Okay, let me repeat that. If you get the opportunity to have a line review with a Target buyer or any other mass retailer, you absolutely deserve to be there, and you deserve to be in the room. It is really easy for small, especially in emerging and diverse owned brands, minority owned brands, to be intimidated when they're in the room with a major big box retailer. But there's a reason that they have called your name. There's a reason that you are there, and you deserve to be there. You are bringing newness, you are bringing energy, you are bringing joy. Your products are bringing innovation to the category and the assortment. So when you have your next line review, I want you to always remember that you deserve to be there, and there's a reason that they are relying on you to potentially pitch your product and bring your product into store. All right, so let's say you have that line review coming up. I want to talk about, how do you actually prepare for that line review? We get this question asked a ton. You get that email from the buyer and you're like, wow, I have this line review coming up with a Target. What do I do next? Now, there are many ways to prepare. You can literally Google best practices, but I want to go over just some really key reminders in what we share with our brands and our programming as well. So number one is, do your research. Do your research. Visit the retailer you are pitching, online or in person, so you can actually understand that you're speaking their language. So for example, here at Target, I mentioned joy, right? Get familiar with the assortment in the aisles, right? Get familiar with the Target vision. It's right on our website. You know our purpose now, right? Get familiar on why joy is so important to us, and how we've been able to cultivate that joy so far, and how your brand does that currently, or how you can actually integrate that into your brand. Identify which aisle your product would be sold in. Each store may look different. So a store assortment in Minneapolis may look different than Fort Lauderdale, than Miami, than Texas. Get really familiar with the area and region that you actually want your stores, if it's not online, if it's in the store, to actually be in. Take photos, y'all. This one is actually highly, highly rated, and we always share this with our brands as well, is you can do this now, even before your line review. Go into a store, the store that you actually want to be in. Put your product on the shelf in the same aisle, next to your competitors, and take a picture. This is a great and free way to assess if your products actually stand out on shelf, right? Do they pop? Does the packaging look right? Does the sizing look right? Does it match the rest of the assortment that's in the aisle or the categories? Questions to consider. Are there any products in the store currently that are similar to your product? Where are these products actually placed on shelf? Top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf. Just so you guys know, the middle shelf is a sweet spot. That's the golden spot because it's our eye level. So most of the key products are actually in that middle shelf. So assess what the assortment looks like, shelf space. Identify gaps, right, that the retailer currently has and compare it to your competitor. How do you fill the gap? This is what you're going to speak to highly of in your line review, how your product actually fills a current gap in the buyer's assortment. And then ask your incredible network for advice. We All Grow community is incredible. So this is one community, and I know many of you are part of many others as well. Take advantage of communities like this for the connection and to learn about how other retailers actually engage with products and engage with small brands. And then use what you've learned, right? So now you are learning some additional retail knowledge here to have your brand get ready for mass retail. So you can use what you're learning today, create a presentation that will actually guide the conversation. I'm actually going to go through a whole template line review deck in a second, and then create a whole line review presentation that actually is a leave behind for the buyer. I'll talk about what that means in a second and why you need to do that. And then last two is be an expert in your category. I just mentioned this, buyers are always looking for small, especially emerging founders to be experts in their category. Again, y'all are bringing something new to them. So they're learning a lot. They are very, very busy. So you can bring some newness to their category. That's something that Luna Magic did very well, right? As they were pitching to a Target and other retailers. And then practice your delivery and be yourself. Can I emphasize that enough? When you have your line review, be yourself. That's what got you to that point. So you want to continue to be that, and then practice how you're actually going to deliver your line review authentically. Okay, so I am just before we get to Q&A, there's the last piece, but I'm actually going to go through a line review pitch deck template. So we have actually had founders use what I'm going to share next, pitch to Target and other retailers, and it's actually worked and has gotten them into other retailers with purchase orders. So feel free to use this and tweak it and make it your own as you pitch to a Target and other retailers as well. All right, so page 1 of a line review. Your line review deck will be the title page. Sounds obvious, but title page is number 1. So your brand logo, brand name, contact information, you'll include the retailer that you're pitching to, the merchant you're meeting with or the buyer you're meeting with, and the date of the line review. You'd be very surprised how many founders make that mistake and they're pitching the Target, but they have the Walmart. We don't want that mix up. So double check and reread and make sure that information is up to date. If you have any applicable certifications, you want to include that as well on page 1. And then any visually appealing shots or hero shots of the product, not lifestyle shots. You want to avoid that. So you want to avoid shots where the product is engaging with a person. You just want to focus solely on the product on page 1. All right, page 2 would be the brand overview. This is where you'd share your core audience and market opportunity. So here is where you're going to share your primary demographic or guest and how it overlaps with the retailer. So basically, who is buying your current product, what they look like, where they're based geographically, right? You can share more about that person, and then how it overlaps with the retailer. So if you are marketing your product to a Hispanic guest, you are talking to the Target buyer and saying, this is how your Hispanic guest will then now buy my product. And again, how it aligns with the Target guest, existing and new, because if Target currently is not servicing that guest, you can share how your product will actually bring those new potential consumers into the store. So then we have market opportunity. This is where you're going to share the top markets that you're currently selling your products, where current sales are highest, velocity and performance averages, like basically how fast your product is moving currently in those doors, current retail doors, where they're selling national distribution, total count, and revenue. Again, that shows a Target buyer current traction. And then the white space opportunity, I talked about this a little earlier. This is very key for buyers. They always want to hear, again, how your product is actually filling a gap that they currently have in their assortment. All right, page 3, we have the competitive review. So this is where you're going to share how your products are basically better than your competitors, right? So you'll share your products, the competitors currently in your space, and currently in the retailer that you're pitching to, the market ranking that you have versus your competitors. And here you want to be very, very intentional with the benefits and highlight key differentiators. Okay, so on the right-hand side, this is like a standard table that most brands use, and of course you would tweak it to make it your own. But always on the far left-hand side of the first column, you want to mention the benefits of your products. Then in that next column, it will be your brand. So your brand will always go first, and then with all the plus ups, and then you would then share no more than 3 competitors and how basically your brand is better and how you have additional benefits versus your competitors. One thing I want to mention here also is that in line reviews, we always coach our founders on you never want to basically diss the assortment or the current assortment of the retailer. So you do not want to enter your line review by telling the buyer that their current assortment sucks and they shouldn't have X product or that product, and this is why your product is better. You don't want to do that. That will highly, highly turn off any buyer that you're talking to. You only want to focus on how your product is bringing, again, innovation, newness, freshness, and how it's filling a gap in the current assortment. So you highly only want to focus on your product, but again, here on the table, you're just highlighting, again, how your product may be better or having a plus up versus your competitors. All right, y'all, page 4 is the product offering. So this is where you're going to share high resolution images of your product, the product size and count, right? The retail price or the price that you plan on selling your product, the price that Target plans on selling your product, and then the cost price, the price you plan on selling your product to Target. Then you would share your initial markup or IMU, forecasted units per store per week, and then forecasted dollar amount per store per week. And again, this is very, very standard, and it should be based on your estimated velocity and how much you think you'll sell per week there on the forecasted components. All right, last but not least, or second to last but not least, page 5 is the launch strategy. The most important part, and this is actually where you're making your ask. Here is where you are actually going to share with the buyer, the target buyer in this case, right? How many stores you would like to be in, whether you would like to be online, and what geographical region you'd like to be in as well. You would share your potential launch date. Of course, the buyer would tell you what that date will potentially look like, but the date you would like to launch. Your segmentation strategy. This one is very important because, again, this is where you are bringing your expertise and your know-how of your product, and you're sharing with the buyer the demographic that will be buying your product, the area of the country, size of the stores, and again, how many doors your products would be in. And then your market strategy. And this is your commitment to the buyer of support to sell your products. I'm going to pause here for a second because a lot of emerging brands do not know that once you get to a mass retail shelf, that's where actually a lot of the work begins, because you are still working and marketing your product. The mass retailer will assist you, but the majority of the work is done by you still for your products to sell once you are in a mass retailer. So you're going to share with the buyer your potential annual marketing spend, basically what you're going to spend to market your product in a Target store, your success metrics that you have used on previous campaigns and plan on using for this upcoming partnership. Your retail specific launch support, again, how you've supported other retailers in the past and how you plan on supporting this current launch. And then your estimated sales lift, just basically how many products you think will sell from this upcoming launch. And then last are basically the thank you slide and then additional slides. So the thank you slide, you'll have your contact information and then any additional slides that you may want to include, which is basically your capability information, shipping, MOQs, minimum order quantities, lead times, if you have an EDI provider, or if you plan on extending your product line or adding to your assortment. So you notice that was a little quick, right? And it's only 6 slides, right? And there's a reason. So buyers, again, are very busy. They are seeing hundreds throughout the year of brands, and it is really fast, especially during the transition time. And they've already vetted your company, right? And again, that's why they called you to the line review. And you want to be really concise and have no more than 6 slides. And you want to use like PowerPoint or PDF or Canva, but 6 slides, we think, and again, the additional slides will be kind of the leave behinds after the meeting, but the 6 slides and what I just shared will be the key components for what the buyer would need to assess if they want to do a partnership with you. And again, the leave behind would just be the additional information if they want to ask you any additional questions. And then, of course, during that Q&A and discussion time of the live line review would be that time as well. One more thing I want to mention here too is that a lot of founders ask us, and you're probably wondering, okay, after the line review, what happens next? What's the average time frame? When do you hear back? Do you follow up with the buyer? Just so you know, from a line review to when your product is actually launching in a mass retailer, the average, and again, it varies based upon categories, needs, timing for a buyer, but the average timeline is 10 months to 1 year. So you have your line review today. You won't be launched into a store until 10 months from now or a year from now on average. Of course, it's an asterisk that may vary, but that is usually the time frame. And there are different components happening in between there. Getting your inventory set up, again, your onboarding, your getting set up with our target systems, you know, your initial setup of like your initial rollout of products. So there are milestones happening in between, but the average time frame is 10 months to a year from line review to product launch on shelf. All right. I'm excited, y'all, like I said, to open up for Q&A. I think we have quite a bit of time. So I will turn it over to Vanessa, and I guess Nina will come on screen as well, and excited to answer your questions.
Taji, thank you so much. This was beyond valuable. My favorite thing was watching all of our amigas whip out their pens and their notebooks, and they were focused. They were focused. My dream, I know, especially Anna and I, as investors in other Latina-owned brands, is to see more of our amigas sold at Target. So we really want this for you. As Nina said, and as Tahaji beautifully echoed, you belong. You absolutely belong. And it just makes us so happy to know that Amigahood members are at Target. Y'all just showed, Luna Magic. Bloomy is also at Target, and she's a dear amiga of ours. And that makes us really proud that she's part on shelves. And now we can't wait to see all of you. So let's get into these Q&As because these questions are really good. Okay. Elibet has asked, is there a checklist available to self-assess preliminary readiness?
That's a great question. So the answer to that is no. And because there are nuances. So the needs and requirements for every category, even within each category, looks very different, right? And we wouldn't want brands to say, oh, okay, yes, there's 10 things and I have them checked off and everything looks right. But there are nuances between categories. But as I shared, those 6 key high levers or keys components, right? EDI, supply chain capabilities, revenue. You want to make sure that your brand has those 6 key components to ensure if you are retail ready. And then again, completing that target supplier intake form. I know it is internal, but that's a way for us to assess. But those 6 key components and all the resources that were shared in the chat and that are on our website as well are places you can also look to assess for retail readiness.
Beautiful. Melissa has asked, would EDI, EFT include SKUs?
Can you share a little bit more?
Melissa, are you able to share a little bit more regarding whether or not SKUs are included within EDI and EFTs? First of all this nomenclature and jargon, I learned so much. I was taking notes.
Nina and I are learning every day, literally every day.
That part.
Language. Okay, while we see if Melissa has more to her question, we'll move on to the next one. Jess has asked, what type of idea systems do you allow? Is there one in specific that Target appreciates more? Idea systems.
That's a great question. Nina, do you want to take that one?
I would need some context around what idea systems are. I don't know.
Jess, what do you mean by idea systems?
And this would be a learning moment for me because I don't know if I've heard that phrase before. So
Sorry, my keyboard auto corrected. I meant EDI. So I know there's like self-made EDI, but is there like one commercially that you guys would appreciate more?
Ooh, good question. Yes. So another one. So we would love to share one, right? But we wouldn't want to show preferential treatment to like one or the other. So there are quite a few. Hot tip, if you literally, I did this yesterday to test it. If you literally Google EDI provider for emerging brands, the top two that come up are fantastic. I'll just say that.
Hot
you
tip.
see how she did that, y'all? Like
I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
We're getting just really good, juicy goodness. Thank you for the tea. We love tea. You know we love tea here. Thank you for that question. Genesis has asked, how would one best describe Afro-Latina? I feel like positioning a brand with that as a message can be confusing for most. We have pivoted to multicultural instead. What do y'all recommend?
This one is highly for Nina. Go ahead,
yeah,
Nina.
I was gonna say I'd love to take part of this, and T, maybe if you have any builds, I can pass the virtual mic. What I would say is that I think this is truly, it speaks to what I talked about at the top of our time together, which is like we deserve to take up this space. I wouldn't say that Target has one singular definition or context around what Afro-Latina is, but as you think about your line review, as you think about, a meet and greet or elevator pitch with a retail buyer, think about your branding statement and highlight the definition of what Afro-Latina means to you. And then I think if there's opportunity, building that out with like contextual market data that highlights that blank space or white space in the market is such a value add in helping buyers understand what you bring and represent in the market. So I'm not going to make up any statistics here, but if you think about, the growth stats around the Latin population in the United States, and you think about, the segmented approach around Afro-Latinas or Afro-Latins as part of that, like the market potential is huge. And so I think, remember, business speaks, money talks. And so highlighting that cultural context and identity, it's important. Do it in your own terms, but don't be afraid to back it up with the statistics that highlight, again, how your product or brand represents newness and innovation and differentiation in a way that only you can. T, do you have anything else that you'd add?
That was fantastic. Just the only plus up I'll add to that is that going back to buyer empathy, remember buyers are people. And at most retailers, the buyers that change on their desk, right, is about a year to a year and a half. So you may meet a buyer today, it may be a different buyer tomorrow, but they are people and they might not even be familiar with what Afro-Latina even means. So this is your opportunity to teach them and show them actually what it means, or the definition or mind frame of it may look different than yours. So as Nina mentioned, this is your opportunity to teach them your perspective and what it actually means and how it translates for the potential guest that comes to a Target store.
Such a great question.
Wonderful. Thank you both. And thoughtful responses. Honestly, thoughtful responses. We really appreciate it. Next question from Michelle. Is feedback available to a founder if they've applied to the Target Accelerators program several times in the past with no success? In addition to attending information, get ready sessions like these in order to strengthen their application, what kind of feedback will be available to a founder once we apply?
Yeah, I can take that question. And I'd say first and foremost, know that being told no or getting a quote unquote rejection is just redirection. And so as Tahaji mentioned before, when we are thinking about matching up folks with programs or with line review moments and opportunities, it really is about that strategic fit. And more often than not, it's not a no, it's a not right now. And so what I'd say moving forward is please, please, please engage with us as much as you can, whether that's opening your newsletter monthly, reading our content, accepting invitations to our emails, and most importantly, making sure that you're updating your supplier intake form. We are here to support you, and we want to celebrate the growth of your brand and the milestones that you make. And seriously, you would be surprised at how much of our day Tahaji and I are actually looking on the back end at folks who have resubmitted their supplier intake form. We are constantly combing that database to best prepare and to give brands incredible, strategically curated opportunities. So please remember, it's not a rejection. It's not a hard and fast no. It's, more often than not, just a not right now, especially as the business and the landscape, and truly retail as a whole, continues to shift and evolve on a daily basis.
The only thing I'll add to that well said, Nina, so well said, as always. The only thing I'll add to that is, to be honest, a lot of founders have gone to our programs. It's actually their second, third, if not fourth time applying. It's not very often that founders get into our programming the first time. So as Nina mentioned, it's just redirection and another opportunity for you to apply at a later date.
Thank you. I also love that y'all mentioned about updating the supplier intake form, because we often forget, or founders and many of the amigas that I know that apply, it's like they apply once and they kind of think that that's it, but you continue to evolve, your business continues to evolve, and that is information that I'm sure the buyers would benefit from knowing.
Yeah, and I'd say too, and Tahaji's mentioned this even to me in passing, but remember, there's a lot of retailers and there's a lot of opportunities to be on shelf. And you would be surprised how many folks, founders we hear from that say, you know what, I am so glad I was at a Whole Foods, I was at a Publix, I was at XYZ retailer before I got to that next step with Target. Ultimately, you'd be surprised, but those opportunities can provide that redirection and that reframing and that experience that ultimately can help you grow your brand exponentially once you do make it onto Target shelves.
3 snaps. Yes, Nina. All of the above. All of the above.
I'm just sharing what you shared with me. Actually,
all of the above. Oh my gosh. Yes, so true. I mentioned this before, right, about retail distribution. And again, like a Target buyer, especially the stakes, let me just be like, the stakes are very, very high, not just for brands like you all, but also for the buyer. Getting into mass retail is expensive. And then once you get there, the stakes are very high, right? So the margin for error is a lot smaller and costly. I'm going to be honest as well. It's very costly as well. So again, if you have the opportunity to get into other retailers first, before you come into a Target, kind of go through those ebbs and flows, as Nina mentioned, of what brands actually experience. And you will go through inventory mistakes, products breaking, products getting lost. There's so many things. You want to go through that experience first, so that when you come to a Target, you are ready, you are buttoned up, you are more than ready to go, and it doesn't cost your brand as much as you thought it would.
And I would say too, you tell us when you get to other retail doors, you tell us via your supplier intake form, so T and I can go buy your products at the competitor. But
that part.
if and when, we're always happy to support no matter where you show up.
I'm sure that it also helps the application process to know that the product is already being sold in other retailers, especially local. So it's okay to start local. In fact, we started local with our Amiga Circle Conversation cards. We went to Arte Alexia, to the beautiful Casa Palma Dulce, because we wanted our product in the community so we can learn and test before going massive retail. So leverage all those little things. Like don't think that that's small. That is an entry point.
100%. And it can also make your product and your brand offering that much stronger. I imagine just with your example, you're being immersed in the market, you're getting that feedback, you're learning what works, and you're able to tink and tweak and better yourself in that process, so that when you are ready for mass retail, you've got a product that truly is like unlike any other.
Hometown hero before you become a national treasure. Hometown hero first before a national treasure.
Okay, let me get that t-shirt.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, getting so many more great questions here. Target is great at partnering with growing businesses for special occasions such as Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. Is there a difference in the process of brand selection for these timely moments?
That's a great question. Oh, let's see.
I know our amigas are smart. Our amigas
Yes.
came ready.
Yes, that's a great question. So the process is different, right? That I know of. It's not a full line review. The process looks different. I wish I could speak to exactly what it looks like, but it is very different. They're nuanced, right? Individualized partnerships where target teams would reach out to you for that partnership for those moments. So the process is not as long, but they do start very early. So for example, for 2025, right, strategies already in the works, things are already like getting in the works for next year, heritage moments. So that is similar there. But as far as timing, right, it looks different. It's not like this long line review as it would be to be in stores permanently or on shelf.
Yeah, and I'd say I think that's all right. The only other thing that I would add is that throughout Target, we all are, again, reviewing business information as sent by you through our supplier intake form. So again, we're looking to work with a variety of companies, supporting you, whether you're quite early stage or you're ready for that next step. Truly, beginning a relationship with Target is as easy as filling out that singular form. And know, again, that we've got lots of people across Target, not just myself and T, reviewing that data daily.
First of all, I really appreciate the detail that y'all are providing for these questions. I'm sure the community is quickly taking notes, but don't forget, amigas, the replay will be made available. Okay, so you can watch this, take your notes, take your time, do your due diligence. We have another amazing question from Stephanie Moran. We have books. Our winner of the Amigas in Business grant competition makes us so happy. Stephanie has said, I've created a children's character brand that I'd like to license. Does the Target Accelerator program accept these type of applications? A children's character brand book.
You want to take this one, Nina? Or you want to take it?
Sure. Yeah. So right now at this time, we're only looking to work with vendors who have specific products to sell. So again, think about your product or your company, like if you are in a Target store, if you're browsing Target online, if you see a product similar to yours on shelves or listed on our site, then yes, you'd be considered a good fit by way of product offering CPG. Unfortunately, our programs and the resources that we do offer are scaled more towards CPG and less so intellectual property. So yes, again, fill out a supplier intake form, tell us about your company, but generally speaking, as a CPG mass retailer, we're looking more so for products and brands that sell products within our general merchandising categories.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nina. Genesis, yes, that's my strategy as well with retail boutiques. Oh, Genesis, yes, we have so many amigas that have incredible retail stores here that would love to carry Honey Beauty, and we'd love to know that. We didn't know Luna Magic was your mentors. That's really, really beautiful. Snaps all around. Okay, we're checking to see if we have any more questions before we wrap up. And I'm just checking the chat because the chat was lit. It got lit that I've been scrolling up and down to see what, making sure that I'm not missing anything, and also giving y'all each your flowers. Tahaji, by the way, as you were speaking, I don't know if you saw, but you were getting tons of loves and shares about just your honesty, your relatability, and your beautiful way of showcasing the data in a digestible manner, because these topics are really complicated. It can feel overwhelming, but I think if you organize yourself and create a data center where you're creating a checklist for yourself, like these are all the things that Tahaji just presented. Let me put that as one master list and kind of take my time with it. The journey is about the growth. It's not about hurrying up and getting there.
Oh, yes. I'm feeling all love back. I'm getting all choked up. But I know we're closing out, but I just want to say, this is truly an honor. When Nina asked me to be here, the why couldn't even come out before the whole word yes. So I am just ecstatic to be here. And again, just thank you, on behalf of our entire team. This has been amazing. I love diverse owned brands. As a Black woman, I love seeing my fellow Latina sisters doing the thing. It's just incredible. And especially as a former founder, right? I know what this journey is like and how hard it can be, but just seeing you all showing up to something like this to help your brand scale and grow and learn all the things is just amazing. So just thank you for the love in the chat, and then just thank you for creating space for Nina and I to be here.
Thank you, Tahaji. We want to see you in the Amiga hood. We cannot
right?
wait. Yes.
I think we've just got a couple more
Adopt me,
slides.
adopt me. Yeah, adopt me. Yeah.
You know you're adopted. Oh, I think we have a couple
Okay.
more slides before we wrap up today.
Do we have a few more slides? Because I know we have just a
do.
couple more minutes. If you have more
Yes.
slides, I'll let y'all take on the slides. And what we'll do, amigas, is
Yeah.
let's continue the conversation on Amigahood because Nina will be there. Tahaji is going to get my personal invitation to join us so that we can continue the conversation and make sure that your questions get answered.
Yeah, as we think about wrapping up today and those action items, that homework, we love you, but there's homework. We would love to see your submission, your supplier intake form submission today. Do it today. Don't do it tomorrow. Do it today. We'll read it tomorrow, but make sure you tell us about your business. Please give yourself the benefit of the doubt and the grace to share a little bit about your company. Don't worry about where you are, what you've done, what you aspire to do. Just start the conversation. We really want to hear from you. And just note, as Tahaji did mention earlier, it is a 2-page form, so make sure that you complete both pages. And then last but not least, there's a lot of ways to continue to connect with us. As Vanessa mentioned, you can watch this recording, connect with us on LinkedIn, make sure that you get Accelerator Insider, which you will get once you fill out the supplier intake form. We'll make sure that we do all the rest on the back end. And then know too, the more you tell us about yourselves, the more you connect with us, the more that we'll able to strategically match you with the right kinds of opportunities to help you scale for success. This is your journey, and we are just thrilled and proud to be able to dig into our purpose and to help support you as you create the next generation of wealth building companies. Thanks for sharing your space with us today.
You know, you're just a beautiful, eloquent speaker for the record. Like we were all like, I was like, hold on. When you're like, I'm getting emotional, I was like, why am I getting emotional?
I get emotional. I'm going to go like walk for a block, walk around the block after this. I love this sisterhood. I'm getting all the vibras like via Zoom. It's so amazing.
It's our digital neighborhood, our happy, safe place, slice in the world. With all the chaos that's going on, Amigahood is the place where you belong. And amigas, we promise you that we're going to keep the conversation going on Amigahood because we did get 4 more questions that we didn't get a chance to get through, and they are important because they have to do with feedback. They have to do with the P&L. They have to do with how do you, the markup, and all those things are really key for you to know so that you can set yourself up for success. So beyond anything else, thank you so much, Target Accelerators. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Tahaji. Thank you for your time, your beautiful energy. Amigas, thank you for spending time with us today. Everyone who attended will be entered to win goodies from our friends at Target Accelerators. So please make sure you check out your emails because the team will be reaching out to you in the next few days. We hope you're feeling inspired to take this next step of growth for you and your business. We'll be rooting for you. And Nina and Tahaji, a personal thank you from the entire We All Grow team and to Target. Thank you for supporting us in our mission of nurturing Latinas with an entrepreneurial spirit by bringing us this invaluable opportunity to learn together, because when one grows, we all grow. Have a beautiful rest of your day.